Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
I'm Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our reaction to Criminal Minds Season 15, Episode 5, entitled Ghost. This is the Criminal Minds power crossover that you've all been looking for. Give this video a like if you get the reference. Okay, so we're going to talk about what went down here. Not a great episode for Alves and Matt Simmons, at least in terms of them being tormented and nearly killed.
No, but a really great episode in terms of performance and having, just really good meaty material.
Yeah, really good material, really good stuff about brotherhood and friendship and, their whatever aggro feelings they may have been having about their basketball game. They put that all to the side when it really mattered the most. Before we do talk about this episode, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. So let's just start with a nice little wink and a nod to Criminal Minds here for the throwback of our guy, Tony Dennison, from Major Crimes, reprising a role that he basically played on this show like a decade and a half ago.
Yeah, they've done a really good job this season sort of pulling in sort of a little nostalgia and the throwbacks and they're making this last season really count, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's probably not a lot of people who are like, oh, I watched Criminal Minds when it first was on and I'm still watching now, but there's probably a lot of people who probably went back and discussed and discovered those episodes along the way, who've watched them in syndication, and regardless of when you first saw it, maybe somewhere in the back of your brain, it's like, oh, that's Weigart. I remember him from the very start. It was just, that's fun, and, that helps to sort of offset the fact that, the case itself, other than, I think, having some really kind of cool connections to Simmons and Alves, which is kind of a reminder of, oh yeah, even though we don't necessarily see everything these two have done, they do a lot of stuff that's not on the show. They each have a respective past. This is not the most exciting ensemble in the world.
No, but the thing that there was a moment there that I actually felt like Matt was going to quit the team. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe that's where this is going to end up. Because during this whole thing with this unsub, and when, of course, he's like, oh, I'm going to threaten your girlfriend, and I'm going to threaten your wife. That moment when Matt's wife got threatened, and you could see it all over his face. He's got 5 kids. And I know that there are other people in the BAU who's got kids. So there's worry for everybody that's a parent on there. But he just had another baby, brand new. He's got 5 of them. His wife is then, if he dies, his wife is left with a lot of children by herself. And when they got rescued at the end of it, and he was just out of breath and sort of like, man, that fight was really awesome. I'm just going to throw that out there too. Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah, it was.
He had this look on his face where it looked like he was running through his head, where he almost got killed, where it was like, I could see it on his face, flashes of his wife, flashes of every single one of his children's faces, sort of that idea that he'd be leaving his woman a widow and his children with no father. It was a moment I thought was going to maybe come down by the end of the show.
I could definitely see it happening in the series finale. I
don't think yet.
Exactly.
But with the offer of the book with Rossi and this particular episode, I felt it more on him than with Luke. Luke has been in danger before. Of course, so has Matt. But the stakes are a little bit different every time you add a new kid to the mix.
Yeah. If these books, from Simmons and Rossi, they sell well enough, it's foreseeable that Simmons wouldn't have to work at the BAU forever, and he could just be an author, and he could stay at home with the kids, finding weird things in the cookbook to try to do before they ultimately decide to do something else instead. There's
he clearly enjoys being at home, and he enjoys being a dad. And I know that he also has a very rewarding job. So it was just a moment when he was so close to being shot. Like, it was by the skin of his teeth that Rossi came in and helped him out. His performance, can we just take a minute about Daniel and his performance in that scene was awesome. It was so good that he got me thinking about all these different things that might have been going on in his head with just his facial expressions. So good job. That was really good.
Yeah, and it's a cool arc that Daniel has. I mean, he started on Beyond Borders, the spinoff. He comes over to Criminal Minds. It feels, and yet at the same time, it sort of feels like he's been with the BAU forever now, even though he really hasn't. And I like that they recognized and referenced the IRT in this episode. So it's like, okay, you guys aren't forgetting that there was a spinoff show, even though it doesn't come across every second of the day. They really kind of threw all of that in nicely. And I think, in general, these final 5 episodes, because we are, insert tier here, in the final half of the season now that episode 5 is over, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of the agents start to really think more and more about what they want to do with their future. Because we can't forget, Tara Lewis almost ends up getting captured or something happens to her as well.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lot happening to the team in this episode. That is going to force them to think.
And we didn't even get Everett Lynch. Like, the chameleon is still out there, so none of them are really out of the woods. None of them can really breathe all that much easier.
Yeah.
I think the challenge with this episode mostly just comes down to this. We're coming off of Saturday, which I think you and I agree is probably one of our favorite Criminal Minds episodes ever. And this episode has to find a way to match that. I think no matter what they put out there, it wasn't going to be as great as Saturday, and so that's just a really high bar to try to reach.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm not saying that this was a bad episode by any means, but it is hard to come off of an episode like Saturday, which is one of the best episodes I've ever seen of this show that I just love, and I've watched a million times since then. So it is very difficult then to go into any other episode. But this was a good episode.
It was, and I think it did a good enough job of at least giving us some stuff with Simmons in particular that's probably going to have a little bit of staying power. But I want to spend some time in this video previewing the next couple, because here's the thing. Criminal Minds, they are basically running through these episodes as fast as possible because they know that they have other stuff CBS does, like SEAL Team, that they want to get back on the air. So here's what's going to happen. Next week, you're going to have 2 different episodes that are coming on, one right after the other, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. The week after, you're going to have one more episode. And then the week after that, series finale, 2-hour event. It's all over.
Yeah, we do not have much time left with this show.
Yeah, so let's just give a brief little tease here for the next couple and what is coming up. Because episode 6 is entitled Date Night. And on the surface, that sounds really sweet. It's like, oh, you're going to see our characters out enjoying themselves. Maxine or Max or whatever you want to call her, Reed's potential love interest. She's going to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
But wait, there is going to be an old foe of the BAU is going to return, and they are going to be presenting specific demands for Spencer Reed. Now...
Yeah, so if I had to throw out a guess here, this is the last season.
Yeah.
They have been bringing out a lot of sort of nostalgia and pulling back from the past and all these sort of things. If we're talking about some sort of former foe that's connected to Reed, I am hoping, praying that this is going to be Kat Adams. She was such a cool, slick unsub that that is another one of my most favorite episodes, was the very first episode with Kat and Reed. I love that episode. So if they found a way to bring her back for this episode, I would be thrilled.
Yeah, I really hope that it's her. I mean, Aubrey Plaza's great. I know that she was busy for a long time with Legion and all that other sort of stuff.
She was so great on that too.
Aubrey Plaza's good on everything.
Yeah,
and
she
I think,
really is.
She's a big get for this show. And I don't know if they had the time or if she had the time to bring her back in the final season. But if they did, if I'm just thinking about notable Reed adversaries, I understand that she's not the only person that's out there, but
she's high on the list.
she's high on the list. She's recent enough that I think she would be memorable to a lot of people, and it's a big-name actor. You know, she's not listed in the press release, but, you know, all this could be moot, because if she's in it, maybe they'll show it in the promo. We haven't seen the promo yet for what's coming up, and then all of you will collectively know. But episode 7, this one's going to be coming up immediately after 6.
Yep.
This is going to be your Emily Prentiss spotlight. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are kind of like, okay, we've had the Reed story, we've had the Simmons story, when is Paget getting her due? Seems like it's going to be in this episode.
Yeah, and it looks like I've seen some people wondering where Mendoza is, her boyfriend, and it seems like he's going to be coming back, and which is going to be cool. We've had a mention of him in the Saturday episode where she was like, yeah, I'm eating all these donuts, but that's cool. I did Pilates with my boyfriend. It was cool to hear a mention of him. So to have him come back, that's cool too. Like, they are really packing it in this season is so good.
I hope that there's good things coming for the two of them. It seems like Prentiss has some decisions to make here. They both have very, very busy jobs.
They do.
Probably don't get to spend as much time together as they would like.
They get to go to Pilates together.
Yeah, Pilates apparently, that is...
It just feels like they're in a good routine together.
Yeah.
They're finding time to be able to do stuff like that.
Hopefully, we'll just get to see some good stuff for them. If nothing else, it's at least an opportunity to see the character back. We'll get to experience their relationship. This might not be the end of it. There might be another appearance of them down the line, but that's just something to look forward to there. But let us turn it over to you guys and ask, what did you think about Criminal Minds Season 15, Episode 5? And what do you want to see in Episode 6 and 7? Share in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.